Hi guys, this is IGCSE O-Level Chemistry, paper 12, November 2014, question 21. How many different salts could be made from a supply of dilute sulfuric acid, dilute hydrochloric acid, copper, magnesium oxide, and zinc carbonate? So, copper, magnesium oxide, and zinc carbonate, and we have sulfuric acid, and we have HCl. So we will not have any copper salt being formed because copper will not react with dilute sulfuric acid or dilute hydrochloric acid. Magnesium oxide would react with sulfuric acid to produce magnesium sulfate. Magnesium oxide would react with HCl to produce magnesium chloride. Zinc carbonate will react with sulfuric acid to produce zinc sulfate, and zinc carbonate will react with HCl to produce zinc chloride. So in total, 1, 2, 3, and 4 possible salts can form. So this makes option B the correct option for this question. Question 22. Elements in group 1 of the periodic table react with water. Which row describes the products made in the reaction and the trend in reactivity of the elements? So group 1 reaction with water. So the products would be metal hydroxide and hydrogen. Yes, this is correct. And metal oxide and hydrogen is incorrect. This is the product of group 2 metals reacting with water. And the trend in reactivity, less reactive down the group. So the trend in reactivity of group 1 is that the reactivity increases down the group. So it will not be less reactive, it will be more reactive down the group. So this eliminates option A and makes option B the correct option for this question. Question 23. The graph shows how the pH of soil in a field changes over time. At which point was the soil neutral? So the soil started off neutral. It went alkaline at A. It went back to neutral at B. It went very highly acidic at C. And it came back to slightly acidic at D. So at B, the soil was neutral because B is on the pH of 7 and pH of 7 is the neutral pH. So this makes B the correct option for this question. Question 24. The table shows the reactions of 4 different metals with water. So W reacts vigorously with cold water. Okay. So W is a very reactive metal. X has no reaction with water. So X is a very less reactive metal. Y reacts very slowly with water, more vigorously with steam. So the Y is more reactive than X, and Z reacts violently with cold water. So this establishes Z being more reactive than W. And if we compare W and Y, so W reacts vigorously with cold water and Y reacts slowly with water. So W is more reactive than Y. So the order of reactivity would be most reactive would be Z, followed by W, followed by Y, and the least reactive of these 4 metals would be X. So the first metal would be Z, eliminating options A and B. Next would be W. Next would be Y, eliminating option C. And the last one would be X, making option D the correct option for this question. Question 25. An inert gas X is used to fill weather balloons. Which descriptions of X are correct? Number of outer electrons in atoms of X. So the number of outer electrons would be 2 because this gas is supposed to be Helium. Helium has a proton number of 2 and a nuclear number of 4. So we have two outer electrons in atoms of X, eliminating option C and D. And structure of gas X would be monoatomic, which means single atom, and not diatomic molecules because all noble gases are monoatomic. So this eliminates option B and makes option A the correct option for this question. Question 26. An element X has the two properties listed. It acts as a catalyst, it forms colorless ions. Which of these properties suggests that X is a transition element? So a transition element can act as a catalyst because it has variable oxidation states and it forms colored ions, not colorless ions. So property 1 belongs to transition elements and property 2 is not a property of transition elements. So since property 1 is correct, this eliminates options C and D, and since property 2 is incorrect, this eliminates option A and makes option B the correct option for this question. Question 27. The oxide of element X is reduced by heating with carbon. Element X does not react with cold water, steam, or dilute hydrochloric acid. What is X? So that means X is less reactive than carbon and it is also less reactive than hydrogen. So out of the given elements, copper is less reactive than hydrogen, iron is more reactive, magnesium is more reactive, zinc is more reactive. So this makes option A the correct option for this question. Question 28. Which information about an element can be used to predict its chemical properties? Its boiling point? No, that's a physical property. Density is also a physical property. Melting point is also a physical property. Position in the periodic table. Yes, its position in the periodic table can be used to predict its chemical properties based on which group and which period it belongs to. Therefore, option D is the correct option for this question. Question 29. Aluminum is the most common metal in the earth crust. Which is not a property of aluminum? Low density, yes, aluminum has a low density. Resistance to corrosion, yes. Good conductor of electricity, yes. Poor conductor of heat, no, it is a good conductor of heat. So poor conductor of heat is not a property of aluminum, making option D the correct option for this question. Question 30. Which reaction involves oxidation? Heating hydrated copper to sulfate in the air. So when we heat copper to sulfate in the air, water is removed. So this would not be oxidation, it would be dehydration. Polymerization of ethene. Double bond opens up and the monomers are added together in the polymer chain. This is not oxidation. Rusting of iron. Iron, when it reacts with oxygen, would produce iron 3 oxide, Fe2O3. It would produce iron 3 oxide. So as iron, it has an oxidation state of 0. As iron 3 oxide, it has an oxidation state of +3. 0 to +3 is oxidation. So oxidation is taking place in the rusting of iron. And thermal decomposition of calcium carbonate. So when calcium carbonate decomposes, it forms calcium oxide plus CO2. So we have calcium having a +2 charge in calcium carbonate and calcium retaining the +2 charge in calcium oxide. So this is not a redox reaction. So oxidation will not happen. Therefore, the correct option for this question is option C.